Hi everyone, I am Hacking Hyena Ginji Terrano, and Brian has invited me back graciously on this lovely Talk Like a Pirate day. Yar! We are going to be demonstrating the lost song from DDR SuperNOVA Japan called Beautiful Life by ARIA. Brian, what were the dates that this was available again?
What'd you say? It was September 13th through October the
11th, right? I think that sounds right.
I remember the 13th. I don't remember the
Okay,
October.
what is the 13th? One's the 11th. I'm pretty sure it's September 13th because September 11th would be too tragic.
I mean, not for the Japanese.
True. So it was only available for about a month.
I hope that year that was Friday the 13th. It would be fitting for this song.
We should look that up sometime.
Well, while you introduce it, let me look.
Okay. So the song is absolutely terrible. It's incredibly syncopated, and it sounds like it's cut really, really gross, but really that's how the song actually sounds. So as you'll see as we're playing through it, the arrows drift a lot, and that drifting happens because of the way that Konami needs to sync songs. So way back in the day, Konami synchronized songs based on CD sectors, and the arrows would line up based on what sector of audio was playing. And there are conveniently 75 sectors per second. And nowadays, Konami uses about 150 time delimitations inside of a second, which we're going to call ticks, to segment that out. And now all of the arrows are actually not laid out based on what second they occur, but they're laid out kind of like a sheet of music. And in that sheet of music, there are 4 quote-unquote beats per virtual measure that's laid out in this file. And every individual beat has a resolution of 1,024th of a position between the start of that beat and the start of the next beat. So each measure has 496 positional values available to it. And that continues through. And then there's a set of timing instructions that go along with it that say, at this many ticks into the song, be at this measure location. And so that's how the game actually syncs up the audio to the chart to the audio. So basically it says, at this point in time, be at measure 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And as you'll see, because of the really shitty job that whoever was tasked with creating this chart did, you'll see that it kind of drifts a lot. And the game doesn't really have an internal notion of BPM per se, but you can calculate one from that. But it's just not made with a BPM in mind. So you're going to see just how hard of a job the person that made this chart had with all the syncopated rhythm, and the fact that it's not actually a 4/4 song, but their file is kind of dependent on that, and knowing exactly which beat based on the audio to do it. You'll hear like little stutters along the way at some points in the song, and that's what happens in the real song. It's actually not an artifact of the data on the hard drive. So when this song went away, all this data was deleted right off the hard drive. And the hard drive in DDR SuperNOVA actually is in a file system called PFS. And that stands for PlayStation File System. See, DDR SuperNOVA runs on basically a PlayStation 2 inside a big metal box. And Sony decided to create their own file system based on RiserFS. And if that name sounds familiar, that is the dude that killed his wife, leading to possibly more terrifying things like Friday the 13th, which was it a Friday the 13th?
So was it 2005 or 2006?
I think it was 2006.
2006, September the 13th, sadly, was a Wednesday.
Was a Wednesday. What was 2005, just for the record?
2005, September the 13th was a Tuesday.
Okay, so it wouldn't have been a Friday no matter what. Anyway, so what we were able to do is go ahead and piece together the deleted files piece by piece and make them available, and through the magic of Game Shark, time travel back so we can show you what this chart looks like inside the game. And that is what Brian and I are going to do for you today. So, with all of that out of the way, thanks to Brian and his magical mixer board, you can hear me talk and explain all these fun things. Let's show you what the game looks like, or the chart looks like. So, Brian has set up the game, so we can go ahead and show you what that looks like. Something else you're going to notice is, because this song was a promo for a movie called The Back Dancers, you're going to see actually clips of the movie playing. And this movie file that you see on SuperNOVA 1 actually uses non-standard MPEG-1 video frames. The raw IPU frames that get fed directly into the PlayStation 2 video decoder. So if you try to play them back normally or just name it a regular MPEG file, it's not going to work right. So it was a lot of work to kind of try to smooth that out and make it work. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a look and see what the actual song, chart, and video look like.
You ready?
Let me go find the spot on the pads for my paws, because they're huge.
I love it.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh, life's so beautiful, life. Come on.
I actually did remarkably well for myself on that one.
I'm actually really impressed. That's amazing. So what we're going to show you next is actually kind of really interesting. So when we were messing around at the data that we recovered, Brian was able to find one working doubles chart, and then there's another couple doubles charts that actually have placeholder data inside of them. And that placeholder data actually is what Konami used for shock arrows at DDR-X and up. So they weren't complete, but you could definitely see that how they were using them to try to get the timing of the song down. But what's really interesting is because the arrows fill so much of the screen, you can actually see just how bad the sync is on the song. And so Brian is going to give you a quick view of what those charts look like real quick. So I will let Brian take that away.
All right.
So Brian is going to demo so you can see how bad the sync drift is with this test doubles chart we've got. And again, you're going to see the arrows fill the screen. And when all the arrows are on the screen at once, that's actually a trigger in DDR X and up to make it a shock arrow.
Okay, so I've got the game set up here to play the expert doubles chart, which doesn't really exist, but it's got big blocks of all 8 arrows across the screen, and it really helps you to visualize just how inconsistent the scroll of the arrows is on this song. Hopefully you can see it in the video, but you'll actually see them rather than just scrolling at a nice consistent speed. They kind of like hesitate or kind of jitter a little bit basically as they're going, which you can actually see in normal gameplay as well. But again, because this is all just a big screen full of arrows, it's much easier to see.
And well, I'll explain when this is over, but
we've turned off failing because there's no way we can actually play this chart, as you can see. But I hope it comes across in the video that you can see how they just have a little bit of a jerkiness, a little like hesitation to them at points, where it's like resyncing itself with the song. And then unfortunately, that's the end of that chart. Oh wait, can I do this again?
get a hand.
Yes! So even though there's no real triple steps in DDR, apparently they do actually work.
I think Ooh La 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 in an old version of like DDR First Mix or something like that had it, or Euro Mix or something like that. They had an accidental hand in there too. You get a nice clean view of the video. So something else while we're just waiting for this to end. It's entirely possible that the file we were able to undelete from the file system is not actually the final data. It's entirely possible that this chart was a prototype chart that was linked in an unfinished file from an update. So keep that in mind too.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if we could talk to somebody in Japan and be like, was there an expert doubles chart for this song? Question mark? So, anyway, is that all we have for?
We did find a working basic doubles chart.
There is a basic doubles chart, which I can play and demonstrate, I guess.
Alright, so here is the working basic chart.
Alright.
In doubles.
I actually haven't tried this yet, so I assume it's complete. I guess we'll find out. When we started it earlier, at least it had arrows that looked realistic.
Yar! All right, yeah, I think that's all the interesting stuff in this version of the game. I don't think there's anything else worthwhile that's remotely cool about this version.
Poor SuperNOVA.
Poor SuperNOVA. It's got an awful, awful menu select sound.
They tried.
It's got the Club Mix songs.
Hey, at least we had new DDR.
Yes,
finally.
True. Yes, and it did pioneer the way for downloadable songs, so I'll give it that. It was the first really online version that they had. So, thank you so much again, Brian, for having me on Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr.
Arr. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.